I heard every word they say. Sometimes will be good, sometimes will be bad. You're gonna make it big someday. See, I'm trying to move on and put the past behind. You see, I bettered myself. Thank God I've got an open mind. You see, I bettered myself. Thank God I've got an open mind. You see, I bettered myself. Thank God I've got an open mind.
Katie, welcome in Rhodes. It's the first time that you're playing here at the Rother Bluestagen.
Yeah, thanks for welcoming me. It's good to be here.
But you're familiar with Germany now. You started touring here 2022 with the Blues Caravan and did several tours since then.
Yeah, this is exciting. It's my first Katie Henry Band tour, but 2022 was the Blues Caravan, and that was my first time playing in Europe, and it was my first time playing outside of the US in general, so it's been a really cool journey since then.
You had done one album before, a self-released album, before you got in touch with Thomas Roof and Roof Records.
Yep.
How did that happen?
Well, that first album was, I went into it recording 5 songs, and then I thought 5 more and I have an album, and it was just really good timing, because then in 2019 I was playing a lot more, and then it was right before the pandemic. Just people were talking about the show and the music, and it caught the ear of Thomas Roof, and he flew on the last flight to the US right before everything closed down. So I just thought that was a really good sign, and it was a really great meeting of him, and I just knew this is where my music journey is supposed to go.
And he get out of the US before the lockdown? Or?
Yeah, but it was the last flight. It was just like, wow, so lucky, the timing. Yeah.
You're coming from New York, New Jersey? Or?
I grew up in New Jersey, like North New Jersey, but I did spend a few years in New York City, but I'm currently based in Philadelphia. But they're all very close on the East Coast, so that's where I call home.
So it was kind of learning years in the New York clubs?
Yep. That's where I started to just find my voice, and just finding my voice has been the longest journey, but that's when I started to really get in front of audiences, and you just keep getting used to it and growing stronger, and that's just what I've done ever since.
You started with the piano, then playing guitar, kind of a multi-instrumentalist nowadays.
Yeah, piano is my first love, though. Grew up taking lessons, and I just would play out of songbooks, Billy Joel, like all the classics, gather around, let's sing Piano Man around the holidays. And I just was like, man, music is the best way to just come together, and that's where I caught the bug. And then I started writing songs when I was in high school, and then I picked up the guitar later, actually, when I was in New York City.
It starts at my toes, gets my head reeling, and I try to get your love coming my way. When it don't, I say someday. But the thing about someday can never come. Like a train that stops and then runs. The thing about someday can never come. If I'm not running toward it, what am I running from? And I got to believe in, if you do what you love, then the rest is like breathing.
New York is not that well known for blues. How did you discover the blues for yourself?
My journey to the blues is interesting because I found it through classic rock and roll, but they say the blues had a baby and they named it rock and roll. So I grew up a huge Beatles fan, and I loved the Doors. My parents loved live music, and they would always take me. I mean, the Eagles was one of my first concerts, so I just kind of was around really good music, and then I discovered that all of my favorite bands learned from the greats, and that's how I found my way to the blues. But Janis Joplin was another huge influence for me. Me and Bobby McGee was the first song I sang in front of people, and that's just all passion. And for me, blues music is just passion, and I think that's...
You once said blues and rock is kind of expression of freedom. Mm-hmm. What did you mean with that?
It's just such a way for... I just feel like the things that society is spreading is sometimes fear, and I think that music is the only thing that could really make people come together, and that is a way to be free to me, is to just like fight against the fear, and that's what music does. I hope that answers the question.
Get Going was your last album last year. It was produced by Bernard Allison.
Yeah.
I guess Thomas Roof was involved, getting you and him together.
Yes.
And what kind of experience was it with such an experienced musician?
It was really cool because I had met Bernard actually in 2022. We crossed paths and I saw his show and I was like, wow, what an incredible show, amazing musician. And then I got to see them again this summer of 2023, and that's when we were talking about the 30 Years tour, which was last winter, and it was 30 years of Roof Records. And so once Bernard and I started talking, we just, you know, he really saw something in me and wanted to bring it out more, and just sees, I love the blues, but what I do is a little taste of everything, and he was very interested in helping bring that out more. So it just was like a very serendipitous timing and meeting. So we recorded that album in the fall of 2023, right before this 30 Years tour. And I've been playing the songs. I'm going to play a few tonight from the album.
And this different styles might help you also another kind of freedom, musical freedom.
Yes, yes. That's really important to me. Because that's, and it gets back to what I said too, the passion in blues. It's just, that's in all music. It's just this way that we can all express what we truly feel. And when I get on stage, I just surrender to the feelings, you know, and that's what's freeing for me.
Okay, Katie, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And I know the reason why. When I raise my hand, you know the sky began to cry. When I raise my hand, you know the sky began to cry. When I raise my hand, you know the sky. I said, you know the sky. Well, it begins to cry.